Alright, we're back with another game. We're playing against Bushy again. They're a pretty strong opponent. So, what do we got? The tray isn't looking amazing. I don't like the food cost of the tanager with that double worm cost. Snow bunting is really good, but it really relies on your opponent having a tucking bird, and that's hard to tell here at the start of the game. Wilson's Snipe is a good 5-point bird that draws cards, but hands out cards to your opponent as well. But I think at this point, beggars can't be choosers. The infamous Thecla's Lark, not that great. Birds with platform nest. Total birds, birds with no eggs in round 3, and birds in the grasslands for round 4. So we don't really have a great food option here for our forest. What does that look like? A lot of wheat and a couple worms. So snow bunting is a good meta pick. Man, do I grab that tanager? I think I do. What's my bonus card? Go with large bird because that's better than citizen scientist. It's over 65. Our 2 birds that we're going to keep don't qualify. Goshawk could be good with the snipe, I guess. It is a platform nest, but that makes it hard. Let's see, if I don't keep the wheat, I keep the worm and the cherry. My first play is to grab the tanager out of the tray, then play it, then start gaining food. Should have a quick reroll on the bird feeder. So I think I'm going to do that. There's a large bird. Alright, I'm going to go with that. Sorry, Bushy, for taking such a long start there. Alright, let's see. They kept 2 birds. Standard food array could be just about anything. We're going to stick to the plan here. And we're going to go with the tanager. Nothing great pops up in the tray. Next we're going to grab a worm. Probably grab the split face. And then we will play our tanager and start gaining food. Hope for worms. Hope for a wheat at some point. We can get the snipe down, draw cards, and we can get the goshawk down with excess garbage cards. It'll be interesting to see if Bushy grabs the blackbird or the wagtail. Those are both decent cards. So he did take the blackbird, and mute swan pops up. And he could play it right now, but he doesn't have strong forest development yet. It's turn 2. So now do I deny that mute swan? It's kind of a tough call here. Do I waste the turn? Do I let him? So he's going to play the blackbird. I have the snow bunting in hand. I should do better on the round goals. The question is, are they going to be able to run away with the mute swan? I don't think they will. The blackbird costs a wheat and a worm. If they play that right off the bat, they're going to be left with a cherry and no obvious forest development. So I think I'm actually going to let them have the mute swan. I'm going to take the worm here. Maybe I'm signing my own death sentence here, but I think we're in a good position, especially with the snow bunting in hand, to fight this emergent mute swan engine. And they're going to spend a turn to draw that, I suspect. Alright, so they did take the mute swan. Their food, they could play the swan, but then they'd be out of food. They have the blackbird in hand. So now let's play our tanager. Let's just make sure it's a Lincoln Sparrow. That's garbage. We don't want that. So we'll play our tanager, and then we will gain a wheat from the bird feeder and the worm. And then we will play our snow bunting. And then we're going to need a card in hand in order to feed it. I'd like to keep the goshawk, so I'm going to have to draw cards. So there's the... oh, there's black-headed gull. Didn't expect that. I just posted a tutorial video on how to combat black-headed gull. Go check that out. So now we have black-headed gull, mute swan. So this just got very, very interesting. So now it's a whole different game. So I'm going to take the wheat, take the worm, and we are insulated against the black-headed gull. We'll be able to get the reroll on the bird feeder here if they steal our food, so chances are we'll be able to maintain the wheat and the worm for our snow bunting. Then we'll lay eggs on it, and then we'll draw cards, creating a card surplus in order to feed the bunting. So now in retrospect, it feels worse having left that mute swan in the tray, but I think we're still in a good position here. Of course, the Wilson snipe will feed even more cards. So maybe that was bad. So as predicted, he took the worm. We'll get it back. We'll leave the split face in the bird feeder in case we need the wheat. Now we'll play the snow bunting. Let me just make sure that's what I want to do. The snow bunting will let us shave a point off their tucking engine by allowing us to tuck and draw a card every time they tuck. So we will go for that. I'm sure they won't want to see that. 3 turns left in the round. I don't know that we're going to get this goshawk down. They don't have any platform nest. We're really going to need to dominate these round goals to give us an edge against this mute swan. So they laid eggs. They're probably going to, they'll either gain food here in order to play the mute swan, or they're going to play the blackbird, which will help them generate eggs. They're probably going to go with the blackbird here, because then they'll be getting cards, eggs, and food from their wetlands. As long as I have food to steal, that is. So what are we going to do next? I need cards and I need food for my snipe. How realistic is it I can get this goshawk down? If I lay eggs, it's 1 turn. If I draw cards, that's 2 turns. I will have 2 cards in hand. Then on the 3rd turn I could play the goshawk, but I won't have eggs on it. So I can't get on the board for the round goal. So I think I'm just going to gain food here. For my snipe. And I want to make sure that I can reroll the bird feeder if I get hit by the gull. So I'm going to take the rat. And I'm going to take the worm off the split face with the tanager. And then that gives me the ability to get my worm back. So there's the blackbird. So they're definitely going to draw cards here. This is a tuck-lay bird. So now they need food, and they're going to rely on us to get that food for them. So if we lay our eggs here for the snipe, they're going to try to steal, maybe they'll steal our rat, thinking we need it for like a round 2 raven or something. And that'll be fine because I don't need it. If they take the worm, we can just get another one out of the bird feeder. And really their primary goal right now is to get to a wheat and a worm and any other food in order to play that mute swan. And we're already shaving a point off their engine with our snow bunting. So they did take our worm. We'll replace it. They did tuck. Now the question is, do I want to get rid of this goshawk? I don't think I do, because it lines up with my bonus card. It's a decent body, and it'll take advantage of excess cards. It does kind of conflict with the snow bunting, but I think I am going to keep it. We'll skip that. Now we'll throw down the Wilson snipe. They stole our rat. Let's reroll the bird feeder. And we'll take a worm. In hindsight, I'm going to skip this again. In hindsight, I wonder if... I'm trying to think, talk and play the game at the same time. So we came up with a tie, 0 points. Eastern Phoebe in the tray. I wonder if they grab that. I wonder if I shouldn't have actually played the snipe first, drawn cards, gotten the cards to the goshawk, got it down, laid eggs on it for the wrong goal. Because this bunting really hasn't been doing much for us in the early game. So that's probably what I should have done. Lost 4 points there. So they did take the Phoebe, and they took our worm. Take the worm back. And we're going to skip the bunting again. It really isn't looking too good for us here. Got to get over this hump. So they've got just the one food. Actually, that's ours. So they can play the mute swan now. So let's draw from the deck and hope for a miracle. I'm going to take the card. That's good. Yeah, I think this isn't looking good at this point. I should have gotten the goshawk down and gotten eggs on it. But I mean, hindsight is 20/20. I didn't realize, of course, that he had black-headed gull in his hand, and that mute swan came up. But that's how it goes sometimes. So there's the Phoebe. So they will be handing out some worms. So that's kind of a help to us, especially with this red knot in our hand. Kind of in a vulnerable position right now with the black-headed gull. Snowy owl, I think I want to keep that. I'm actually going to draw cards again. White Start is good. Cast and Sparrow could help us out later. Don't think I want to hand out the card at this point. Don't need it. I think I'm going to end up playing the Cast and Sparrow to help with our egg development. Well, the third round goal is birds with no eggs. So they did steal a food. Do I need a fish for anything? Another interesting thing here is that they're going to be able to give us a worm with the Phoebe and then immediately steal it with the black-headed gull. We got to be mindful of that. So here we're in a awkward position. We're having our worm stolen. I think I'll take the fish. And we will tuck the Moltoni's warbler. Alduins could help us. There's a worm from the Phoebe. So we get the worm after black-headed gull steals from us. It's a weird interaction. It should be the other way around. We should receive the worm from the Phoebe and then we could have it stolen by the black-headed gull. Alright, so he's got the food for his mute swan on deck. What are we doing in response? It doesn't look like much, does it? So Ottowan's does qualify for large bird. Total birds is the round goal. Painted white start is good for food. I have a fish for the Ottomans. That worked out. Kind of want to play the snowy owl as well. So I'm going to need a lot of food here. What do I then tuck under the snow bunting? I don't think I'm going to tuck anything. I want all these birds. Going to need to lay eggs again at some point, so I think I'm going to play the white start. Then I'm going to get the food for the sparrow, play the sparrow, lay eggs. Then I'm going to work on getting these other birds on the board. And hopefully the black-headed gull doesn't hose us entirely. This weird interaction is actually going to help us, I think. Where we get the worm from the Phoebe after the gull steals from us. There's the mute swan, so they got a 3, 4, 5 point engine going now. They can gain 2 food while gaining eggs and cards. So they're set up very nicely. What do we do in response? I need to get this Cassin's sparrow down. Reroll the bird feeder. The snowy owl works too for the large bird specialist. So I can't. Oh, I can get the worm from the white start. I could get a worm from the tanager, cherry also from the tanager. So let's get the worm. We'll take the cherry. Get a worm here. Get a cherry here. So really now we're insulated against the gull. I need a wheat. If the gull steals from us, I can flip the bird feeder and hopefully get that wheat and then immediately play the sparrow afterward. If that doesn't happen, I'll probably gain food again and get the 2 rats for the owl. But I would really like to have this sparrow down before I take the lay eggs action. Pick up that extra egg. I could overpay for it. I don't really need the cherries for anything. Could go toward the gull. Could do a worm and 2 cherries. For the sparrow. I might actually do that just to maintain the tempo. So there's the gull. What'd they take? They took one of my cherries, which I don't mind. But take the rat. Do I tuck the Alduins here? I think I do. Willet does qualify for large bird specialist. That's a good bomb. And we picked up a worm from the Phoebe. So we can still overpay for the sparrow. I could lay eggs and then play hooded warbler and hopefully steal the end of round goal here. So that's what we're going to do. And we're just going to have to skip the bunting. Yeah, that bunting, that early bunting. I got excited about getting it on the board with all that tucking that Bushy's going to be doing. Really, the better play was to probably get the snipe down first and then play the goshawk, get eggs on it, win the round goal. Would have been up 4 points there. But now we've gotten 2 tucks off the bunting so far, so it's a 7-point bird. So the gull stole from us. So 3 worms. It looks like I'm actually showing the food from the Phoebe, even though we haven't gotten the indicator yet. So what do I want? Snowy Owl's good. I will get that down. Give me another worm. So I'm going to skip the bunting again. Yeah. So we get the worm from the Phoebe on his turn, which is correct. We just don't get the indication until it's our turn. So we're still in the lead for the round goal. They're showing plenty of food and eggs for their 5th bird. 2 turns left. I could spend a worm here to get the extra egg, but I don't think I'm going to. Birds with no eggs. So we'll lay on the white start. Keep all the eggs on 1 bird so we can try to qualify as best we can for the round 3 goal. Then I'm going to drop this red knot instead, and that should hopefully give us a trash card to tuck on the bunting. And a brand new bonus card. Hopefully we do really well on that. Falconer and Rodentologist would be really good. Actually, Food Web Expert would be amazing here. 2, 4, 6, 8 points with what we have in our hand and on the board. Sandpiper comes into play there. Blue Throat. So they got all the food in the world, but they are handing us 2, and they are stealing 1. So that really is dulling the effect of the black-headed gull here. But that is another great bird for them to have in their wetlands. Big bomb, and it gains any food. So we will now go with the red knot here. Come on, good bonus card. Well, we got a Rodentologist. That'll be a 4-point card here. Barn Owl is on the table. Griffin Vulture. No good for the Woodpecker. Hooded Crow. It's going to be no good this game. Low point bird does qualify for large bird. That actually makes the... Should have grabbed that barn owl. Got too clicky. Yeah, that was a mistake. Large bird and Rodentologist. But if maybe the snow bunting will actually save me here. Maybe the Griffin Vulture will synergize. Actually, we'll tuck the Griffin Vulture. Yeah, we didn't get it. We didn't get the... Yeah, because he played a bird. Yep, I'm just playing poorly. Can I flip the bird feeder here? I can't. So we'll just take the rat and the worm, take a worm there, miss out on the tanager. Yeah, so was that 2 misplays now? The snow bunting early was probably a misplay. Not grabbing the barn owl was probably a misplay there, but we kind of got redeemed with the Eleanor's falcon and the comet buzzard in the tray, perhaps. So I think maybe the vulture is kind of past its prime here. So we are getting a food. Let's take the wheat. There's the tuck. So the falcon is actually better than the barn owl by 1 point, but we're going to have to spend 1 more egg to play it into our wetlands, so it's a wash there. So we're getting all kinds of food, which is amazing. So we could be seeing a bonus card bird here in the grasslands like prairie chicken, which we definitely don't want to see, but it's what's happening. So I wonder now if we don't gain food here. Try to get some rats now that the bird feeder is open. No rats. Well, let's gain a wheat. There's not even a cherry for the tanager, but we can get a worm there. Take a wheat, worm, and a worm. Some tucking fodder for our northern goshawk. So, they play horned lark. Do they really have bird counter? Or they just expect me to... They want to take advantage of me playing birds in the grasslands for the round 4 bonus. That'd be hilarious if they had bird counter. So I need a total of 2 eggs here if I'm going to play the overpay for the snowy owl and then the hooded warbler. Then we will have 6, 7, 8 birds with no eggs. Alright, so doesn't really matter what we take here. I think I'll just take the wheat. And I'm going to skip the bunting again, because I want all of these birds. And the bunting isn't a total loss, because it's an 8-point bird right now. So we've got plenty of food. We've got 3 activations left in the round. We've got 1 egg left. I'm going to overpay for this. Actually... well, I need 2 eggs to play the goshawk, so I will play the owl here. Then I'll lay an egg. Get my egg back. That doesn't really do much for us. I'll actually draw the card here, I think, in order to have some tucking fodder for the snow bunting. Then we'll just get 4 eggs on our next lay eggs action. Spend the worms because we have access to plenty of worms. Get rid of that. Good bonus card. So we got bird counter. Okay. At least we're getting some points off that. And we will draw the card. Common buzzard. There's another large bird. 2 points there. So I think, actually, we can drop that in our grasslands. I think we actually take the common buzzard here. Just because it has so much bonus card synergy. We're at 1. We'll be at 2 large birds, 3 large birds, 4 large birds. And we're really relying on our bonus cards to save us here. I really don't know, in the face of this Mute Swan engine. I mean, this is basically a perfect tucking engine. There's Painted Bunting, good bonus card bird for them. I'm ahead on 8 birds with no eggs. 6, 7, 8. They have 6. 2 activations left. They only have 2 eggs, and they would need to play 3 total birds to get there. They don't have enough activations to pull it off, so we should have that round goal 1. Let's actually draw cards here for tucking fodder. Red Kite. That's another good bird with our bonus cards. Do I actually... You know, honestly, I think the card helps me enough. I'm going to hand it out here. Kind of gives them an extra card for their horned lark and yellow-headed blackbird here, but I feel far enough behind that I think that extra card is going to help me at least keep one of the points off their tucking engine with my snow bunting and just continue to give me further value from that card. Alright, so what do we need? We need a lot of rats. So let's re-roll. We'll take that rat. We'll tuck the mallard. Flycatcher doesn't help us. Free fish, free worm. What do they need a fish for in their grasslands? Is that a fish crow? They're going to play and burn the egg off the black-headed gull for a total of 8 total birds with no eggs and tie me. 5-point play, so it's actually better for them to tie me on this round goal because it's a wash activation, but they're denying me some points. 9 divided by 2 is 4, rounded down, so they're denying me 2 points here by tying me on the round goal. And I just don't have the eggs to play a bird here. But I need food, I need rats, really. And there are none in the bird feeder. So let's take wheat, get a worm. And we're going to wind up overpaying for a lot of these predators. So I suspect that's a fish crow. You spend the egg, tie on the round goal. Really not much I can do against that. There's the tie as expected. White stork. That's better than fish crow by 2 points. And of course the grassland birds are working toward the round goal here. So card advantage really coming into play here for my opponent's tucking engine, which is typical. Benelli's and European goldfinch in the tray. So that's just kind of nail in the coffin. Goldfinch would be an 8-point play for us. But I just don't see them letting us get that. I mean, they're taking Benelli's. Yeah. Just nail in the coffin. Salt in the wound. Insert other analogy here. Come on, rats. No rats. Take the wheat. Tuck with the bunting. Free wheat, free worm. So now we just drop bombs here. First we need to lay eggs, don't we? So this Cassin Sparrow is helping us out here big time. Spread our eggs around just in case we get oologist. Alright, let's tuck the quail. Lots of food. Can you hear the depression in my voice? So let's see. And of course they have the horned lark there to pick up tucks from me playing my grasslands birds. So I have 4 activations left. Well, I need to get these grassland birds down. No, we're not playing on top. Grassland. Worm and a fish, or a rat and a fish rather. Take an egg there. And then just to insult the injury, we're coming up an egg short. Taking the egg off the snowy owl would have now been better with 2020 hindsight. Bubble link from my opponent. Picked up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 eggs off the bubble link. As everything's going their way. We're going to see Benelli's here at the end. The capstone there. Birds in the grasslands, so we can't win that. So let's talk this and this. Bonus card bird for my opponent. We're going to see Benelli's here at the end. I've got all this food and nothing. Can't do anything with it. Chuck that worm. We are going to tuck the buzzard under the bunting because we'll get more points from the falcon in the wetlands. Redback shrike doesn't do it for us. There's the Benelli's in the forest, which is odd. We could. I don't understand the Benelli's in the forest here. Could have, if I'd kept that buzzard, we could have tied on the round goal, but why wouldn't they play Benelli's into column 5 of the grasslands? Because they have the eggs for it. They must have ecologist habitat with the fewest birds, that is. So they're picking up 4 points here. So I could have tied them there. More hindsight is 2020. Because this is 11 divided by 2 would be 5 rounded down. 5 plus 5 is 10. Minus 2 is 8. Plus 2 is 10. And the Eleanor's falcon is 4. After eggs, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points for large bird specialist. So it's actually better to play the shrike here, because it's 1 more point for us, and it actually denies our opponent 3 points, but we're still going to lose this. So a little bit of a math lesson there for you at the end. Make sure to not be clouded by, your obvious plays, like playing Eleonora's on large bird specialists. Keep your eye on these round goals and what your total score can be and the impact that you have on your opponent. But I could have actually won that round goal there if I had the buzzard as well. I think. No, maybe I wouldn't have. I didn't have the turns. Alright, so let's see the damage. If you like seeing me get destroyed, please hit the like button and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. So we're falling behind here on birds and bonus cards. Tuck the cards, they pull way ahead. They've probably broken 100 points. Yep, 121. Well, we almost broke 90. It's a respectable game anyway. So, good game to Bushy.